Okay, folks, we've got a Chevelle album review, so here's another one, and this is Wonder What's Next, which came out in 2002. So with this is one of their most successful albums. It yielded 3 singles that charted pretty high, kind of like Trapped with their small handful of hits. Not quite as large as 4, but not quite as small as 2. So third one got there, but not as high. It still is enough to get them on the road, and I'm interested to see how their future records played out. But with this one, I felt like getting a hold of it, and it was. It seems as if this was a good starting point. Now on Wikipedia where I go, it labels it new metal, but to me it feels more like a more touch of alternative metal versus new metal. You don't really get as much of that. I do appreciate the record, but I'd have to say it's a little bit light on that. But that's not all I review. I don't have a problem with alternative metal. Things like Nickelback, Three Doors Down, and some cases Trap kind of does the same stuff. All of these cats did it. Even Mudvayne started to do that sort of thing. So really, this record is comprised of the hits, of course, but there is more to it. Unfortunately, it branches into 2 directions. So when that happens, you're kind of, you have to choose sides. I mean, some people like it all, but it kind of makes you want more of one style. That's the way I was thinking. So with this record, yeah, the hits are good. I mean, obviously, but The Red is a song I think a lot of you are going to have heard. I think it's definitely on the air enough, and it was just one that I figured I had heard this song, but I had not heard the other 2 singles. So listening to those is a nice touch, but really to get to the meat of this album, you're going to want to see how heavy they can get, which we are going to cover. So the production, this is one of the things. There are a few kind of different songs on here. Like I felt like Closure and One Lonely Visitor were type of songs. Now, really, not every single song is like that, but then Send the Pain Below also kind of feels in a ballad aspect. There are other songs that cover different things, but just the makeup of the songs was not appealing to me. And really, they're like a cross between, I want to say they're a little bit rougher than Trapped, but not quite as rough as Corn. So it's kind of in between that. I'd probably say they're about a 5 or a 5.5 out of 10 as far as their roughness is concerned. But they are able to do it. So that's the thing. That I don't feel like this band is a soft core, weak type metal. It definitely isn't. They just know how to appeal to the radio. That's the only thing is, that for me personally is always going to be a trigger. But so yeah, so we're going to talk about the songs you need to hear. So out of 11 songs, I don't have the deluxe version. Out of 11 songs, I like 6, and I'm going to list those for you. So Family System, Comfortable Liar, Send the Pain Below, The Red, Wonder What's Next, the title track, and Forfeit. All of these are the metal songs except for Send the Pain Below, and I felt like it was just kind of a brooding atmosphere. So I appreciate that. I do like when things kind of have a more non-progressive type feel. This is how I've been. But there are songs on here that do capture that. And a song I was on the fence about, which I haven't done these in a little bit, but I've been more select. I've been more decisive, but it's Grab Thy Hand. So I think that one is a song I'll like down the road. So that would be 7 out of 11. And then, of course, the third single, which was Closure, which I think, you may have heard, depending upon how much you know rock. I did not prefer it. But if I listen to it more and it gets that atmosphere, that darker atmosphere, that's about the only way I can take ballads and those, more radio alternative metal type songs, if they're not cheery when they do it. But if that would be the case, I would probably prefer this song a lot more. So the score I'm gonna give it, because I like 6.5 out of 11. I will give it. I want to give it like a strong 6.5, 6.75, something like that. I guess I'll give it a 7. I'll just give it a 7. Say that for what it is, and should be okay to go. And what else is there? So the future, Chevelle is dropping an album pretty soon, I think, and the social score, which is how well it plays around you and a group of friends, I'll give it a 7.5, because there were 2 big songs that you've heard and a third one on top of that. Plus the metal is pretty well put together. So 7.5, just could have used one more hit to solidify things. And that about wraps things up. So subscribe for more fun. Can it be topped? I think the answer is yes, it could, but just a few more songs. And this was kind of a welcome surprise for me. So I'll give this album a 7 and a 7.5 social.